Have you ever noticed how, as you get older, your patience grows thinner, but your heart grows softer? You've been through decades of life, raising families, working hard, surviving losses, giving endlessly. And now, you crave peace. You want your days to feel calm, your relationships to feel real, and your time to feel like it finally belongs to you. But too often, just when you think you've earned that calm, some people show up and start draining it right out of you. It's a hard truth, but it needs to be said. Not everyone deserves your help in your old age. Some people will ruin your happiness, steal your energy, and make you question your worth, even if you've known them for years. Now, this doesn't mean you should stop being kind. It means you should start being wise. Because after 60, your peace is not a luxury. It's survival. And you cannot afford to keep helping people who only bring stress, chaos, or guilt into your life. Let's start with the obvious but painful one: the chronic manipulators. These are the people who know how to make you feel bad for doing what's best for you. Maybe it's a family member who always needs something: money, time, a place to stay. And the moment you say no, they hit you with guilt. After all I've done for you, or I guess I can't count on anyone anymore. Suddenly, your one act of self-preservation turns into a crime in their eyes. You know this game. They play it well. And because you're a kind person, it works. You fold. You say yes again and again, while your needs get pushed further down the list. But let me remind you, you've already played the role of caretaker, provider, peacemaker. You've done your time. If someone only respects you when you're giving to them, it's not respect, it's control. And at this stage in your life, anyone who tries to control your choices with guilt doesn't deserve a seat at your table. Then there are the emotional dumpers, people who call you only to vent, complain, or pour negativity into your day. They don't ask how you are. They don't listen when you speak. You're not a friend or a relative to them. You're a therapist, and they don't have to pay. Every time your phone rings and it's them, your stomach sinks. You already know it's going to be draining. You'll listen, nod, offer advice, maybe even lose sleep over their problems. And then they'll do nothing with that advice. They'll call back next week with the same story, because they're not looking for solutions. They're looking for a sponge. And you've been soaking up their mess for too long. Now let's talk about another group that many of us, unfortunately, know all too well: the constant complainers. You know the ones I mean. The people who find something wrong with everything. The weather's too hot. The food's never right. The neighbors are too loud. The news is always awful. And no matter how much you try to brighten their day or shift the conversation to something positive, they always drag it right back down to a heavy, gloomy place. And if you're a naturally empathetic person, as many of us are, it's easy to get pulled into their negativity without realizing it. You start by listening. Then maybe you try to offer advice. Then suddenly you're checking in on them, trying to lift their spirits, sending messages or calling regularly. And before you know it, their problems start living rent-free in your mind. You feel their heaviness as if it's your own. But here's the harsh truth. Some people don't want solutions. They don't want encouragement. They want someone to sink with them. Misery loves company, and when they see you smiling, they don't feel inspired. They feel bitter. And the more time you spend trying to help them see the light, the more you'll notice your own joy begin to fade. In your younger years, maybe you had the energy for that. Maybe you had the emotional reserves to hold space for everyone. But after 60, every drop of peace you have is precious. It's not selfish to protect it. It's smart. You're not obligated to join anyone in their storm just because you care. You can love people from a distance. You can wish them well, pray for them, even send a kind message now and then, without inviting their darkness into your day. And then, there are the users. These are the people who only show up when they need something: money, favors, errands, support, but are mysteriously absent when you could use a little help yourself. They don't remember your birthday. They don't call to check in after your hospital visit. They don't ask how you're doing unless it benefits them. But the moment they have a problem, they're knocking on your door with urgency, like you're their personal rescue team. Maybe you've loaned them money more than once and never got it back. Maybe you've cooked, driven, cleaned, or given your time, only to be ghosted afterward. And each time you told yourself, well, maybe this time they'll appreciate it. But they don't, and they won't. That's because users don't see your kindness as a gift. They see it as a tool, something to use, then toss aside until they need it again. And continuing to help them doesn't make you generous. It makes you an easy target. It's not weakness. It's loyalty in the wrong direction. And it hurts. But let me tell you this. Just because you're capable doesn't mean you should be constantly available. You've spent your life giving to others. Now it's time to give back to yourself. If someone only comes around when they want something, don't feel guilty about pulling back. That's not cruelty. That's wisdom. That's protecting the peace you've earned. Some people might not like it. They might call you selfish. They might say you've changed. But you know what? You have changed. And that's a good thing. You're no longer running on people-pleasing. You're running on purpose, on peace, on valuing your time like the treasure it is. Let's not forget about those who disrespect your time, even when you're trying to set healthy boundaries. Maybe you've told someone, I'm not feeling up to going out today. Or, I have my doctor's appointment this afternoon. Or, I need to rest. And instead of understanding, they brush it off. They say, it'll only take a minute. Or, come on, you're not doing anything anyway. As if your time, your rest, your health, your plans don't matter. That's subtle disrespect. That's one of the quietest ways people steal your happiness in old age. They don't scream or fight. They dismiss. They minimize. And little by little, that dismissal makes you question yourself. Maybe I am being too rigid. Maybe I should say yes. But here's the truth. Your time matters more now than ever before. It's not about being busy. It's about being intentional. And if someone can't respect that, they don't deserve a space in your schedule or your peace of mind. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And that's beautiful. It speaks to the kind of heart you have. But let me ask you this. How many times have your feelings been hurt while you stayed silent to keep the peace? How many times have you sacrificed your comfort to protect someone else's convenience? Being kind doesn't mean being a doormat. It doesn't mean saying yes when your soul is screaming no. And it certainly doesn't mean allowing yourself to be drained by people who wouldn't lift a finger for you in return. Your golden years aren't meant for people who take and take and take. They're meant for connection, yes, but real connection. The kind that lifts you, inspires you, respects you. And if someone can't bring that into your life, it's okay, even necessary. to walk away. You don't need permission to protect your peace. You are the permission. And now, let's talk about someone who can be the hardest to stop helping. The one who always plays the victim. No matter what happens in their life, it's never their fault. They're always being wronged, always unlucky, and always expecting you to pick up the pieces. At first, you feel compassion. You want to help. But over time, their stories never change, just the excuses do. And the more you help, the more they lean on you. Not to grow, but to stay exactly where they are. Helping someone once is kindness. Helping them repeatedly when they refuse to help themselves. That's enabling. And in your later years, enabling someone else's drama can quietly destroy your own joy. You don't have to feel guilty for stepping back. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let someone face their own lessons. Here's the truth. Not everyone deserves your energy just because they ask for it. Not everyone deserves your help just because they're struggling. Your peace, your time, your health. These are your most valuable possessions now. Protect them fiercely. You've spent your whole life showing up for others. Now it's time to show up for you. Let your later years be free from guilt, from people-pleasing, from emotional clutter. Choose peace over obligation. Choose joy over drama. And choose yourself, without apology. You deserve that. You always have. If this message spoke to you, share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We're building a place here for strength, peace, and wisdom after 60. Here's to a life that finally feels light. Because you decided it should be.